Now, in the meantime, as we keep an eye on what's going on in Chicago this week, there's always new polling that is dropping, and there's no doubt the polling is skewed in favor of Kamala Harris. Now, the media has done a great job protecting her. She has not done a single sit-down interview. All that's true, right? And you take the polling with a grain of salt. Always. Donald Trump outperformed the polling in 2016. He outperformed the polling 4 years ago. So the polling is always going to be skewed against Donald Trump, partially because Republicans don't want to talk to pollsters, or they're less likely to want to talk to pollsters. They're less likely to admit they're a Donald Trump voter to pollsters. These pollsters like to oversample Democrats to skew polls in their favor. All those things are true. But I saw this yesterday and it caught my attention. And I don't think it's the win that Donald Trump's campaign thinks that it is. So Trump and many people in Trump land shared this new CBS News poll that came out yesterday. And a screenshot of the poll shows that Donald Trump is leading Kamala Harris on the economy, so on the issues. Who would you pick for president on the issues? On the economy, Donald Trump leads Kamala Harris in the CBS poll 56-43. On inflation, he leads Kamala Harris 61-38. On the U.S.-Mexico border, he leads Kamala Harris 76-24. It's not even close. So people shared this screenshot, and they're like, of likely voters, Trump's winning on all the key issues. That's true. But then the poll at large shows Kamala Harris up by 3 points. That's not a good sign. So what does it mean when voters think you are better on the most important issues, but they don't want to vote for you? What does that mean? This is not hard to figure out. What it means is they don't like you. Now, you can sit here and you can say, well, they're idiots and they're emotional. Maybe that's true. If somebody's willing to vote against their own interests because they don't like somebody, says a lot about them. And certainly, there's a case to be made for that opinion. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You're not going to change people. You're not going to change how people vote based on their emotions. You're not going to do that. So what can you do? You control the controllables. It's the old sports line that coaches like to use. I'm not going to worry about the officials. I'm not going to worry necessarily about this, that, or the next thing. I'm going to control what I can control. You can't control the media. You can't control a dumbing down of the electorate. You can't do either of those two things. All you can do is control yourself. So Donald Trump winning on the issues is great. But the fact that he's losing the poll suggests to me, well, he's got a likability problem. Now, I know there's many people who would walk over hot coals in this audience for Donald Trump. And listen, I voted for the guy twice. I'm about to do it a third time. And you know what? If I had to walk over hot coals to do it, I would. Because that's how bad I think she would be and how much better I think he would be in terms of running the country. But it doesn't change the fact that there's obviously a large swath of voters who don't feel that way. And what Trump, I think at this point, would be so wise to tap into is his humor. Donald Trump is so funny. Sometimes he's funny and he's not trying to be funny. Like, let's be honest, we've got a lot of stuff like that where Donald Trump and clips like that, where Donald Trump isn't really trying to be funny, but he's funny. And when you talk to people who have been in a room with him, he is hilarious. And when you have that gift, because being funny is not something that you can try to be and learn how to be. You're either funny or you're not. You're either clever or you're not. I mean, just look at Kamala Harris. She's been in this political arena for years now, and she just doesn't have it. Barack Obama had it. Donald Trump has it. Hillary Clinton wanted to have it her whole life and never had it. And we know what it is. You know when somebody has it. You know when they have it as a politician. You know when they have it as a member of the media. You know when you've got the pizzazz, you've got the confidence, you've got the juice, and you've got it. And Donald Trump has it. Kamala Harris does not have it. How do you channel that to get people in a place where they want to go into that poll and say, not only do I think you're better on the issues, I at least don't mind you. I might even like you a little bit. And instead of complaining about the voters and complaining about the media, what can you do when you have the talents to do what needs to be done to turn people in your favor? Use them. Use them to your advantage. And that's what he's got to do, and he's got the ability to do it. You just got to channel it. So when I see a CBS poll saying voters think Trump's better on all the issues, but he's losing the polls, you can complain about it, or you can say, what do I need to do to fix it? And when you've got the talents and the abilities to fix it, well, let's get it going today. Mike and Olathe is on KCMO. What's up, Mike?
Hey, dude, you know what I was just thinking? And in his TV show, the scowl and the you're fired kind of thing worked. That was his shtick. But when he smiles, he's like one of the most engaging, attractive people on the stage. It lights up a room when he smiles. He's
Easy,
a great
Mike. Easy.
smile. He needs to use it more and bring people in that way because it will soften him just by doing that silly act. Just smile more and quit acting like you're still on the Apprentice, man. It's not that anymore. It's bring people in, but he smiles and it's amazing. He just doesn't do it enough.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. You know, whenever I talk to guys about doing radio, talk with a smile on your face. You sound different when you talk with a smile on your face versus when you're like scowling and Mr. Mad Guy and I'll fire and brimstone. It's like you can be passionate, you can have strong opinions, but when you deliver something with a smile on your face, it's noticeable on TV, but it's also noticeable if they can't see you. It's noticeable on radio. You just sound different when you speak with just a slight smile on your face. Not an ass-eating grin, just a little smile. Steve in Kansas City, go. You're on KCMO. What's up?
Happy convention week. I mean, I would like to see a lot more surrogates appealing to female voters, specifically Huckabee Sanders and Tulsi Gabbard. The problem we're having with this dichotomy is that we're not going to stop the personal attacks. I'm sorry. We're not going to go along. Trump was absolutely right. This woman, like you said, is not Obama. She's an empty suit. Yep. And we're going to have to define her as an empty suit. Her detail is now saying that she was intoxicated on some of those speeches. Her own people, she makes her own employees cry and they quit on her. I mean, she blames other people for not doing her homework. This is not an issue about attacking a woman. We have to do the 3 a.m. phone call like Hillary. This is about competency. This is about a woman who will blame other people for not doing her homework and throw them under the bus. It's not a complicated election.
Steve, you're getting way in the weeds. No one cares about that stuff. It's about Donald Trump making himself the guy that people want to put back in the White House. It's not about whether Kamala was mean to a staffer 2 years ago. You really think that's going to change people's opinions on Donald Trump? Come on, man. That's not going to do anything. With all due respect, it's just not. It's not going to do it. Chris in Kansas City, I got a minute for you. Chris, go ahead.
Hey, Pete. So, I'm voting Trump, but I think that every single one of your viewers or listeners, would agree that every time Donald Trump goes tangential and does the insults, like yesterday over the weekend, he says something to the effect of how much better looking he is than Kamala. that kills us, man, because
I know.
When he says it, 40 to 45% of America dislikes the man, right? And they shouldn't, right? I don't believe this is an educated voter, though, that 40, 45% compared to what's in there. But, man, who around his inner circle can grab him by his suit lapel and say, Don, stop with the insults, man?
I don't know who that person is. I don't know if that person exists. Thank you, Chris. I just sit here as a guy from afar and I say when the gender gap is as wide as it is and people trust you on the issues, but they're not going to vote for you, you can only change yourself. And changing doesn't mean not attacking. It just is doing it in a way where you got a little smile on your face. Just a little bit. You know, it's not trying to change the guy, change the approach in large part. He is who he is. You don't really change when you're pushing 80 years old. But if you get a little bit of a smile, a little bit of a twinkle in the eye, you move a couple of percentage points, and that's a game changer right there.